My name is TelKGanesan. I'm a serial entrepreneur, touching several areas: film, music, tech, entertainment, beauty, and fashion. Growing up in India, I was very passionate about cars. So passion for cars brought me to the auto capital of the world, Detroit. And then I started working in automotive industry, and Chrysler was my first employer. So the first part of my journey, much like anybody else, I was working in a corporate job, 9 to 5. But then I worked there for almost like 12 years or so. Then during the process, I felt like my destiny of my life was not in my hand. It was always in the managers. And the managers kept changing. Every 4 years, we put out a car, and then you do the thing, and the new manager comes in, and you got to reprove yourself. I said, wow, it has to get better. And then lastly, being an entrepreneur, I can't be just stuck to some rules, old corporate rules. And so I could not contain myself. So 8-hour job, I'll do them in 2 hours. And remaining 6 hours, I used to twiddle my thumb. I said, there has to be a better way. No better place than in America to start entrepreneurship. So the bug was already in there. So then I realized that I should step out and try entrepreneurship, because the worst thing will happen is if I don't try, nothing will happen to me. But if I try and make it, it's there. But as an insurance, if I don't make it, I can always come back and do the job I was doing. So the first step was, really that, because I used to solve a lot of problems, right? And when I solved the problems, always I used to get a pat on the back from the CEO. Good job, Tel, keep doing it. Dinner for 2 coupon at Olive Garden, and nothing. But the company makes millions and billions of dollars, but you get some breadcrumbs. I said, this is America. This is the land of entrepreneurs. This is the place to do business. And so then I thought to myself, I must try that. Otherwise, I will not know the answer. And it is that wanting to know the answer, it is that curiosity and the fire in the belly made me to pursue that. Like I said, it's an insurance policy. Before I quit, I asked my boss, hey, I'm going to go and try. And if it doesn't work, will you take me back? He said, of course I will take you back, because you're a role model employee. So I said, wow, I already have an insurance policy. And when you have an insurance policy, you must try. And that's what made me to make the jump, because, it's hard. When you work for a corporate, you are golden handcuffed. Back in the days, I used to have pension. Now they don't. I used to have a free car, and life was good. But that's not who I was. So I was answering my calling. Only thing, my calling took 12 years to realize that is my calling. Once I got the calling answered, rest is history. The first process, I went back because I worked at Chrysler. So I went back to the Chrysler and made them as my first customer. So always go back and knock on the doors where you already have a relationship, and go and focus on areas that you are good at. So I was good at tech, I was good at engineering, I was good at the same building. I just went to the same building. And because I was already proven, it was natural extension to get into business with them. And then one thing you do, one thing you make it right, then other big boys wanted to see that, wow, you did it over there, oh, you can do it here. But if you don't do that, then nobody wants to take a chance on you. So it's always you have to find the first break. That's the hardest thing to do. It's much like getting the first job is the most difficult thing. Once you have a first job, all of the jobs keep coming. Same thing in entrepreneurship. It's no different than a job, except that it's a business. So then what I did was, when I started, then I started buying more companies. So then that's how I was able to scale. Much like flipping a home. So I started flipping other failing businesses, right? Much like a home or a property, rundown property, everything messed up. You go and change the appliances. The same thing in a business also goes through the same cycle, right? The owner may be tired, cash flow problems, market conditions change, da-da-da-da-da. But as long as I have corresponding value to the problems that they have, I was able to flip that. So over the years, I bought 5-6 companies, add them and roll it up and scaled up. So then I was doing that. Then I learned a lot. Then I was doing good. It's almost like I did that for 10 years now, from 2005 till 17. Then every 10 years, it seems like if I were to analyze myself, I get bored doing the same thing. I'm a person who looks for curiosity, something to keep my mind going. So then I got into film business. And the film business is out of accident. It's not like I put a business plan together. Couple guys came and asked me, da. So then I said, wow, let me give it a try. So I always like to go into, unknown areas and beat the crap out of the guys, the experts, so-called experts in their own game, and disarm in their own and take away their home court advantage. And to me, business now these days like a sport. So I go there and then I learn, because what I learned is that the business principles, entrepreneurship is always the same. The principles remain the same. The flavor can be different. It can be film. It's still a business. That's why we call it film business. Yeah, you may be making music. It's called music business. There is a music part. There is a business part. Then I started putting my energy into the business part, which I learned from Chrysler, being a bigger corporation, what to do. Then I also knew what to do in a smaller corporation, because the culture is different in a smaller company, because you got to pick the trash and you are the CEO. Right? In a bigger corporation, you have people to do that. And then you do that, and then you take the same concept, put them in the film. Even though it is creative, it still needs a structure, still needs a process, it still needs a discipline. And most of the creatives don't have that. And me taking that from Chrysler and my entrepreneurial journey, I was able to apply in the film world. And all on a sudden, from day one, I was adding value, even though I was not a creator to begin with. Then you keep doing it, rinse and repeat. And then over a period of like 5 years or so, doing 5 films, then I learned like a reverse osmosis. I learned from those guys, and then I said, wow, this guy, the first director I worked with, amazing location scouter. He would get a high production value at a low cost like I've never seen anybody else. I learned that from him. Because, filmmaking is not like something you go to YouTube. Yeah, you can go to YouTube, but this is a hands-on, and it's a mentor-mentee relationship. Unless you're hands-on with those experts, so I absorbed from him. And the second guy, extremely good in project management. Third guy is an amazing script writer. Fourth guy is an amazing marketing and PR. So I learned all of them. And in the fifth film, I brought all of them together. Now, that's what I mean by learning and beating them in their own game, in their own backyard. And that gives me so much of power. And then it's no longer a business, it's no longer filmmaking, it's a sport. And then once you know it is a sport, it's fun, right? Because you wanted to win this game. And so you're going to do what it is, much like how LeBron James goes and does all this practice and takes all the reps, this and that. You have to do the same thing in the business. And the question that I asked myself, and I would talk about that, it's a mind trap. A lot of people are caught in their own mind trap, right? I asked the question, Tel, what is the worst thing that will happen? I'll lose everything and I may go back to India. Then I said, that's where you came from, Tel. How could it be wrong? Just go back, you're good. So that gave me the confidence to go, because who's to say that I should or I shouldn't succeed in the film business? Nobody. It's nobody's business, it's my business. And if I fail, I'll try again. Thomas Alva Edison tried 1,000 times to get the electricity. Right? That is why I believe in never give up. Never, never give up. When you give up, you must be dead. What I'm proud of is an Indian guy who came out of India, a middle-class background, coming here to America. Not only I work for a corporation, not only I started my entrepreneur journey, that I was able to move inside the culture that is very hard you are being accepted by the culture. That is the biggest thing. That is the gift given by the people. I cannot go and demand that. It has to be given. And so I ended up producing a movie, Trap City. I'm into the culture in the music business, film business. I produce both mainstream films, urban films, getting into fashion, wellness. It's a pure blessing that a person of this background can do this And that's what I'm proud of. It's not about myself per se, that I've been given this opportunity. I'm the persona of that opportunity, that if you believe in yourself, anything is possible, is really what I'm proud of. And I'm able to break all the barriers. It's not just in one business, multiple businesses. It's really a gift from the universe. It's not, it's not like I'm saying I'm talented, I'm intelligent. It's simply, I'm a vessel for those opportunities. Success to me is making a huge impact is success to me. And then when I do that, if there is a financial benefit, that's also success, because you need to have the financial wherewithal to do much bigger things. So to me, the most thing is impact. Impact in a sense like, am I making people's life better through the messaging in the movie? The movie Trap City is a very spiritual message. And the podcast that I'm going to launch called Mind Trap, that has a very spiritual message. It's don't get caught in a trap. And the most important thing is to get out of the trap. Because so you are your own worst enemy. And that is a message that I wanted to put out. And then in this process, I learned that it's not like, it's all human beings go through, regardless of who you are. Rich, poor, doesn't matter. Black, white, brown, doesn't matter. End of the day, we are human beings. We have the same issues. I came from India, and then I spent 36 years in Detroit. And in the 36 years, I realized that Michigan made me who I am. So I wanted to give back to the city, the state that made me who I am, right? Because I studied in the in Michigan universities. I wanted to give back, so I did. And the place that created me is India, so I also wanted to give back. So it is my way out, because if everybody take, somebody have to give. I'm not trying to give him a life. At least I'm giving 5% to 10% of what I'm blessed with. And I realize as you do give, you actually get more. It's kind of counterintuitive, but that's what I realized. As I give more, I get more. I said, wow, I didn't know that. So that gives me motivation to give more. So when I say give more, sometimes it doesn't have to be money. It could be your time. It could be your knowledge. Because money a lot of people have, but they don't have the knowledge, the know-how, and the wherewithal to turn around a business. So if I may give $1,000 to somebody at 100,000, but an experienced investor, experienced entrepreneur can take the 100,000, turn them into $1 million. But if a rookie takes the 100,000, he will burn it and it'll go for no use, right? So my message is that is why I encourage and I motivate entrepreneurs themselves to give back their time, the knowledge to upcoming entrepreneurs and leave the generation better than where we found it. And to me, giving back is a virtuous cycle. When you give more, you get more. So right now, I produced the movie Trap City, which was theatrically released in December. In July, it came on Stars. It became a #1 trending movie on Stars. It has Brandon T. Jackson, Atlanta's own Jeezy, Clifton Powell, Omar Gooding. And now to keep the momentum going, I'm dropping a video. It's called Trap City music video that's coming out. And that's what I'm working on. And people can check me out on Instagram, TelKGanesan, or Google search the movie Trap City. Kaiba Films is the studio name. And so that's a project I'm working on. And then, as I said earlier, so many other, I'm a serial entrepreneur, so I keep on touching. There are 7 days in a week. So I have 7 companies to focus on, 1 company a day. So, and then also, I said, okay, as if tech is not enough, film is not enough, music is not enough, entertainment is enough. I just got into beauty. And then, through the people as I was talking to, they would say, hey, you got to get into the hair. I said, what hair? The human hair. Then I didn't realize that the South Indian human hair is the highly sought after hair on the planet Earth. I don't know why. Maybe the diet, maybe the weather, maybe the DNA, God only knows. It's highly sought after by the culture. So I'm launching a company called Saudi Hair. where we source ethically sourced 100% human hair coming from India, working on the branding, working on launching that, and it is also a spiritual message to it, because it's centuries of tradition people offer to God, and so we respect that, and then we bring that authenticity into the culture, and that's I'm working on launching that as we speak. So you can look me up on the internet. TelKGanesan is my handle, and I also have a website, TelKGanesan.com. You can also Google me, and my journey is all about not giving up and one life, and we have to do the best out of our life, and that is my message. And be hungry and go get it. Let's get it.